6 o'clock, join me for the pledge.
Sorry.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so welcome to the board meeting of July 15th. I will move to item 2 right away. Any deletions or additions to the agenda? Okay. Item 3, approval of the agenda with additional bills.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the agenda with additional bills.
I'll second.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Harrelson and Mr. Kafka. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the agenda with additional bills, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. All right, we are on to item 4, good things happening. Mr.
Yeah, I'll
Wells.
just do an update on our certified staff. So we were able to offer a position to an English teacher at the high school,
Good.
and she accepted, so we are fully staffed with our certified group. We had a couple special ed ones we wanted, but we didn't really need, they're kind of in between. One was at West, so that was one that we didn't fill, but there was a question if that was needed or not. And we do have a long-term sub, I believe, that's gonna be set up for Libby. So I'm gonna count that as being filled because they're gonna student teach in special ed, that's what we're thinking. So that'll work out pretty well. So overall, with all of our special ed needs, pretty happy with the people we got coming forward and who are certified or working on their certification to do that. And then all the other regular ed positions have been filled. Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah.
Good feeling, outstanding. Yep. So right now we have openings for our classified positions, so paraprofessionals in special ed, we have an ELL paraprofessional that's part-time, and we have a regular ed paraprofessional is also part-time at Libby. So that position came about, they're gonna be kind of a substitute when needed, and they're also gonna help the class that was reduced one section if they need some extra help in that class, because we do have some unique needs in that class, because we reduced a section there.
Okay.
So, but we think it's gonna be kind of what we save in substitute will pay for the majority of that, and it's not gonna have benefits attached to it, so just a little support for that Libby. It's gonna be second grade actually. So those are open and been posted, so.
Good.
All right, on to item 5 for correspondence. Seeing none, we'll go on to visitor comment, and seeing none, we'll go to the consent agenda.
Madam Chair, I would move to approve the consent agenda.
I will second that.
Thank you. All right, any discussion? Comments, questions? Okay, seeing none, we will. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no? Please have it. All right. I'm running right through these. Okay. All right, we'll be on to information items with our report, and we'll start with the superintendent's report, Mr. Weigel.
Yep, I don't really have any topics at this time because we're doing our budget hearing, so.
All right.
Of course, in our packet is.
Yeah, and we have the June Parks and Rec minutes, the June and July Platte County Economic Development minutes in our packet. Always good stuff in there.
It really is.
And it all goes together, so how Platte County economics goes, so goes our school district. Okay, so we're trying trying to stretch it, I'm just gonna be here in just a
Onboarding, you have a
minute.
little time to talk.
So the onboarding committee is gonna fill some space here, okay? And Diane, Dustin and I talked just a little bit, and we're gonna meet next week, but we can kind of give an overview if each one of you would like to talk about what you're bringing to our book. And then I'll talk a little bit about what I've got for mine. Dustin, if you're ready, go
Okay,
ahead.
sure.
I think we did this before,
Sure.
but we're
We
going
did, so unfortunately, I haven't gained too much traction on mine after looking through the new training provided from WSBA and the way they bulleted some of their stuff in there. It follows along with my thought of making bullet points of what we think is important for brand new board members to know. I have this issue where I start making a bullet point and it starts turning into like multiple paragraphs within the bullet point. And then all of a sudden I'm back to one of my other bullet points. So I'm going through some pretty serious internal edits on that thing. It's just like, okay, they just need the bullet points. And maybe a really quick example of why that might be important, but that's kind of where I'm trying to limit myself. It's a little more difficult than you would think. So, but I'm gonna try to just make it kind of like this little one-pager thing with a few bullet points. You know, why is it important to attend the WSBA trainings? That's a bullet point, but if you're a brand new board member, unless we explain that out just a little bit, it's not really gonna have a lot of teeth to it. I mean, it's great stuff and it's just not, but why? What's the board certification mean from WSBA? And so, trying to highlight a few of those points. But like I said, it's a little harder to highlight that point when you get going in your thought, that thing gets into a dissertation before it's over. It's kind of interesting, so, but then again, I find another point, so.
So one thing that I was curious about, that training that we just finished, the public service one, for the newly elected members, when do they have to complete that? Do you know?
I would bet it's within a certain timeframe.
Oh. That might be
Probably talking
interesting to
6
put
months
in
to
I
a
the-
think
year.
that's a
in the
great
onboarding.
suggestion,
Absolutely,
public.
because yeah, that got to be the number one bullet point.
Right, so,
And so, yeah, I'll look at that, I'll look at
Would you-
that as
yeah.
far as the timeline that you've given us.
Public
Absolutely.
office training,
Mhm.
that's a really
That's a
good
good
point.
yeah.
So, yeah, other than that, that's about all I can share.
I mean, it'd be
on
good
this.
for them to know that just coming right out,
Yep.
out of the
Yep.
gate, so.
Definitely. And that can lead into mine, one of the things that was suggested was a contact list, which would include our WSBA website, our own website, of course, the other trustees, the superintendent, the principals, and just numbers, phone numbers and how to contact them, keep that at their fingertips. We would also want to put the public office training link, there, I suppose.
And I don't know, we might have to find out from them when they'll recycle their.
There is an work on your own link,
Right.
but is that what you mean?
Well, just, cause if you're elected and then they won't be sworn in until December.
Mhm.
So, just what that time frame is, we just don't know that question.
You're talking about the public officer training then that we just went through? So,
Yeah.
I've taken that online one and I failed it 3 times. I still haven't passed. So I am out of compliance and still doing it, but you have to wait so long by the time you get the failure and then do it again. So,
Did
It is
everyone
what it
else
is.
pass?
I'm
I'm in the
being honest.
process of failing. No, I didn't.
I got mine.
I turned mine on while I was staining all of the wood, and I listened to each module like 5 times so I actually passed mine the first time, but I was very careful about it because another administrator told me that they passed or failed theirs the first time too.
yeah, I even reached out for help. So I don't know if I'm just not, I don't like that they don't tell you, even, do you have to get 100%, do you not, I don't know, I'm kinda getting off subject, but
Yeah.
it's
It's a deal.
not a fan,
right?
not a fan.
Also, our, mission, vision, strategic plan is also gonna be included in it. And the organizational chart, is that not also the chain of command? Yeah. So that's pretty much what I committed to, kicking in.
And I agree with Dustin, I started writing stuff down and I got too wordy, so I went back to what we already had, and so I'm gonna put in like the basic concepts of Robert's Rules of Order, parliamentary procedure, simplified chart of parliamentary procedures, what it means, what a motion is. A motion is just permission to talk about the topic at hand, it doesn't mean you're for or against it.
Yeah.
It's just the only way to get it on the table, so just some general how the meeting's supposed to work. So that's what my part will be in.
Good.
And so we will meet next week and finalize that. Okay, as we're looking at the committees, and we have item B, additional items, but
Okay,
Ms. Fox.
so I'm also, through part of this board, I'm also on the EWC BOCES board. We had a meeting last Wednesday and finalized the budget for the EWC BOCES. And we approved a budget for $3,959,596. In there, we have a 0.5 mill levy, so our budget for our district is $98,954. And then our cash money is in there as well. And that'll be posted in the newspaper on or prior to July 3rd, if anybody wants to take a look at it, but it was approved last week.
August 3rd?
July,
Oh,
Third.
so it was posted already
Yeah, oh, it was already,
well,
This
that's
is-
what this is saying, that
oh,
on
this
it,
should have been, the summary of the budget should have been posted.
and it probably was.
Just letting everybody know that, because it is part of, or I'm on that board through this board, so their budget was also approved.
Good.
all right, thank you. We'll move on to item B under informational items, number, policy evaluation.
Yeah, I have a couple things there. The first one, that Title IX policy is on hold because of an injunction at the 10th Circuit Court. So they made some proposed changes. A lot of states are pushing back against those changes. So we do have a model policy through the Wyoming School Board Association, but we didn't have to move that forward. So that's just on hold, so you guys know. I think I might have shared something in my update about. We might have to look at some Title IX policies, a couple of adjustments to what we currently have, but we're on hold. And what Wyoming School Board Association and WASA is saying is, nope, just stick with what you have. It's gonna meet the needs of your students and staff right now, so do not make any changes. So we won't be bringing that forward. And another one, just so you're aware, Josh and I went through kind of our policies would be 1/5 moving forward. He kind of broke it down. He needed a couple hours for his internship. So we actually went through and looked at our policy, looked at the model policies possibly, and made some notes. So instead of me being on every subcommittee next year, they're gonna have a little more guidance going forward. And we'll probably need to spread it out just a little bit more in terms of like Shannon should take care of anything with like special ed, Jamie again would be financial. We try to really pinpoint the person or facilitator that helps those subcommittees. So that's all organized and ready to deploy actually.
Awesome,
So yeah.
love it.
so
And part of the
what's,
accreditation, you have to state how do you review a policy. So I think we have a process we've used and show them even the next step of that. So we're getting some work done. It's hard work, but it needs to be done. So.
It's been so hard, it hasn't been done, so I just think it's awesome that we have a plan in effect, and thank you so much for getting that rolling.
That's it for that one.
All right, on to item 9 for action items. Seeing no old business, we will start with our new business.
Madam Chair, I would move to approve the recess of the regular board meeting and convene with the budget hearing.
Alright,
I'll second.
thank you, Mrs. Hoffman. Any discussion? All those in favor to approve recess of a regular board meeting to convene the budget hearing, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Okay, time at 6:15. Alright, and now we will convene the budget.
Good evening, Platte County Board. Tonight we're here to discuss the Platte County School District Number 1 budget for the fiscal year 24-25. As you'll see on page 2 of the budget, there is the list of all Board of Trustees and their assigned roles. Page 3, we'll go ahead and dive right into the budget. Platte County School District Number 1 is pleased to present and recommend the proposed budget for the fiscal year 25. Wyoming school districts are required by Wyoming State Statute 16-4-120 to maintain their accounting records in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles through a uniform chart of accounts prescribed by the Wyoming Department of Education. The priority of this budget was to ensure that all students and staff have the resources available to them to create a safe and learning positive environment. The fiscal year budget is comprised of 5 funding categories: general fund, capital construction fund, enterprise fund, custodial fund, and special revenue fund. We'll go ahead and start breaking it down by fund. The general fund, Platte County School District Number 1's general fund accounts for the main financial resources of the district. The funding model is based on average daily membership, and then funding is modified for items specifically identified by the model or within the statute. Calculation of funding is subject to review by the Wyoming Department of Education and the Department of Audit. It provides for the instruction and most of the support services for the school district. It typically is the fund used for all routine expenditures found within the operation of the district. Districts are funded by 2 categories. You are either an entitlement or a recapture district. If the local resources exceed the foundation guarantee, the district is considered a recapture district. If the foundation guarantee exceeds local resources, the school district is considered an entitlement district. Platte County School District Number 1 is an entitlement district, so we receive payments from the state as well as local and county. I believe, yes, thank you. If you go to page 4, you can kind of see just a breakdown of a little chart that kind of tells you the difference between entitlement and recapture. Also looking at the funding model is based off of ADM. So funding model resources are allocated to schools based off of that in accordance with Wyoming State Statute 2113-309 M4. The funding model generates resources based upon the configuration of grades and ADM for the immediately preceding year. The funding model utilizes the grader of the previous year or the 3-year average to calculate for the school district. Funding for the new fiscal year 24-25 will be determined using the district's prior year ADM calculation. In accordance with Wyoming State Statute 2113-314C1, the charter school shall be entitled to 100% of the foundation program amount computed under Wyoming Statute 2113-309, unless amount specified under Wyoming Statute 2113-309 M5 3 through 5. At this time, the funding for the ADM for the Platte County School District Number 1 is incorporating the SLIB approved charter school enrollment data into their fiscal year 25 ADM. The funding for fiscal year 24 did not include the SLIB approved charter school ADM of 57. This is due to they did not know what that was going to be. Platte County School District Number 1 was funded off of 914.272, which was the district's 3-year average. The funding for fiscal year 25 will be based upon prior year ADM approximately 933.884, which does include Prairie View Charter Schools. They will be entitled to their percentage of money. We'll continue on. Looking at general fund revenues, we're anticipating an increase in our local and county revenues and are currently anticipating a decrease in our state revenue. The state revenue anticipated is what we are currently using for the 100A funding model provided by the Wyoming Department of Education. As you know, this can fluctuate throughout the year, as it has this year. In '24, we budgeted for $18,548,538 in local, county, and state revenues. In '25, we're anticipating $18,888,110 in local, county, and state revenues, resulting in an increase of $339,572. You can see how I have estimated at the following levels of the local revenue, county revenue, and state revenue. Okay, moving on to page 6 is a general fund breakdown of expenditures broken down by the building budget per category. In '24, we budgeted for $18,848,538 in expenditures. In '25, we're anticipating $18,888,110. We are anticipating an increase in the 1,000 series direct instruction, 2,000 series instructional support, and 3,000 in ADM and support services and expenditures from the previous year budgeted. Overall, the district increased its budget by $549,734 prior to district transfers. The increase includes steps and lanes for all staff, an increase to the salary schedule, addition of staff, additional extra duty contracts, and cell phone reimbursements. We are decreasing the district's transfers from $1,543,651 to $1,333,489. The decrease is due to the SLIB-approved charter school pass-through. You can see the breakdown there by category. Moving on to page 7, the general fund 3-year budget summary. This summary is just giving you guys a snapshot of what the general fund budgets looked like in 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24, and what we're anticipating for 24, 25. The differences that I will explain is Wheatland High School with a difference of an increase of $150,000 to $8450. This is gonna be due to 0.5 of our counselor is now gonna be funded out of the general fund versus 0.5 out of the ARC grant, as that grant is coming to term. We added back into our general fund a 0.5 secretary. We added indoor track and a girls wrestling extra duty contract and a Wheatland High School athletic director extra duty contract. Looking at Wheatland Middle School, the increase of $440,822.74. Last year, when I went back to look at the actual budget, not for what we spent in 24-25, we originally budgeted for a staff member to be covered 0.5 out of a grant, and that was not available to use it in that specific way. So when we budgeted, she was not accounted for in the general. She was expensed in the general for the entire year, but budgeted, that's why it seems like it's such an increase in the difference from year to year. So I did have to move her 100% back into the general fund. And then also looking at an additional SPED teacher, an additional SPED para, Wheatland Middle School athletic director extra duty contract, and adding summer school back in to the general fund as well, as ARP was taking care of that. That's where some of the difference is coming from. West Elementary, looking at an additional 4th grade teacher in summer school, adding back in is the reason for the increase of that particular school. Moving on to page 8. In fiscal year 25, a balanced budget is being presented. The budget includes steps and lanes for all staff, absorption of staff, district transfer to the food service program, and the SLIB-approved charter school pass-through. The proposed revenue budget is based on the best information Platte County School District number 1 currently has. Do you want me to read the chart? Do you just wanna look at the chart? I don't know.
You don't need to read it.
I don't need to read it.
Could
Okay.
I ask a question?
Yes.
Peak High School, how are we saving so much there?
This is an absorption through the principal position, as now it is a shared staff position for Mr. Sandlin.
And that's it, that's how we gain that much.
Well, and we're also sharing English teacher with the high school, so it's not going to be for 6 periods a day. I believe it's only gonna be for 4 to 5 periods a day.
Okay. All right, thanks for the heads up.
Chance to kind of look at that.
Okay, good.
Moving on to page 9, we're gonna continue to talk about special revenue. Major maintenance is part of the special revenue fund. Major maintenance is a fund is used to maintain our buildings and only can be used for existing and major building and equipment repairs. It cannot be used for new additions. We cannot use our major maintenance to build any new buildings. So funding is available to the district from the Wyoming School Facilities Division. The revenues for major maintenance are determined by formulas based on square footage of the buildings in the district and ADM. Platte County School District Number 1 is anticipating to receive approximately $1,183,400 in '25. That's an increase compared to last year. The charter school is entitled to benefit based on their ADM. Currently, we have the negotiated contract with the charter school where we're taking care of the major maintenance for that building at this time. Projects are authorized by the district maintenance director and the superintendent, as well as having to be approved by the School Facilities Commission. The district currently has construction projects going on that will require payouts for major maintenance. The following are a list of projects the district already has in place. The greenhouse at Wheatland Middle School, currently we're looking at $15,000, and that would include running electricity to the greenhouse, Wheatland Middle School greenhouse. The HVAC for Libby Elementary and WHS, $727,245 plus a change order of $12,999. The project was started by ARP funds, but in order to complete it in all areas, including Libby's, I believe it was their music room and their all-purpose room, we had to kick in a little bit more to make that work. The football field restoration of $60,500. You can see that that project is almost complete. Weight room light update of $20,000. After the new HVAC is installed, new lighting will need to be done in the weight room. The following are major maintenance projects the district foresees addressing in fiscal year '25. The Glendale boiler update of $200,000, the Glendale Ag Shop siding of $90,000, resurfacing the parking lot at Wheatland Middle School and West Elementary at $100,000, the dust collector WHS wood shop at $85,000, and the remaining expenses for major maintenance will be used as the building needs arise. So it will just go up of an average monthly cost it is to maintain the buildings. So on page 10, you'll see the breakdown of the major maintenance fund. Nope. Yep. Moving on to page 11, a continuation of federal is our federal grants. The special revenue fund is used to account for all supplemental categorical federal and state restricted grants. The federal grants are legally restricted to specific uses within targeted populations and has specific timelines for use. Platte County School District Number 1 spent $3,216,809 in federal grants for the fiscal year '24. We have currently been reimbursed for $2,848,060. We are projecting to spend $4,064,143 in '25. Purchases will include, but are not limited to, literacy materials, curriculums, CTE supplies, EWC dual enrollment, staffing, and technology equipment. Platte County School District Number 1 is currently participating in the following grants: Perkins, Title I, Title 1A, Title 2A, Title IV, IDEA Part B611. Continuing on page 12, IDEA Part B619, Y-Built Literacy Grant, Wyoming RIDE, McKinney-Vento Homeless Program, Emergency Aid and Federal Recovery Grants, ARP and High Dosage Tutoring, BOCES, Eastern Wyoming College, and Hot Springs Board of Cooperating Services. You can see on page 13 a chart of all the federal funds.
That's quite a jump of total available funds from last year to this year. Is just more grant applications, or are they just giving out more?
As far as the federal, are you talking the 80?
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's hard, when you're budgeting, are you going to use 100% of the grant? Cause there's grants that tend to roll over from year to year. So some of those grants that we had, we are anticipating to have to spend them because they're coming to mature.
I see. That would cause it to leave.
Okay, continuing on to page 14, this is the capital construction fund. All capital construction funds provided by the School Facilities Commission would be classified into this fund if funds are received by the district. Platte County School District Number 1's depreciation reserve is also held in this fund. Projects must be approved in order to be funded out of capital construction. Platte County School District Number 1 currently has one project approved, and that is the Wheatland Middle School Road.
So Jamie, to clarify where it says the budget at the very end, 2025, that big increase is the depreciation fund?
Correct, so if you see under fiscal year 24, you can see the depreciation reserve deposit was made of $1.8 million. Do you see that if you look up on the TV, it's in the light blue column under the
Actual.
depreciation reserve. Yeah. Yep, so that's increasing that fund to the 2.5.
Which we didn't have before,
Correct.
so this is excess cash.
This is
being put
excess
in.
cash, and then all purchases out of the depreciation reserve will be approved by you, the board.
Right. So,
So
and you
if-
explained what those purchases could be used for.
Correct, so they could be used for anything that is going to be an asset for the district, so maybe we're looking at a vehicle that the maintenance workers need to travel to Glendo to fix things. We could pull that out of the depreciation reserve versus pulling it out of our general fund. We could look at computer servers that might be a little bit bigger of an expense for the district, that again, we wouldn't have to budget into our general fund, that we could use the depreciation reserve.
So it's a little cushion.
Yeah, it gives you, yep,
Very good.
But just for assets.
correct, you cannot use the depreciation fund for salaries,
Yep.
benefits,
Right.
nothing like that.
Right.
Well, good.
Moving on to page 15, the enterprise fund, this budget is made up of local, state, and federal funds for the school lunch program. Platte County School District Number 1 is part of the National School Lunch Program. The majority of these funds come from free and reduced lunch reimbursements. The district does supplement this fund every year, it is not self-sufficient. We have transferred into this fund every year since I've been here. This fund pays for all lunch and breakfast expenses for the districts, including labor, direct food cost, and supplies. You'll remember in 20 through 2022, the school district had operated under the USDA Summer Food Service Program, and free meals were offered to all students in the program. The reimbursement amount for this program is higher than the reimbursement paid under the USDA National School Lunch Program. It is anticipated that the general fund will need to contribute $300,000 to offset the expenses for fiscal year 25. The majority of this is due to the staff salary schedules and an increase in the food costs. So in order to make this fund balance, we have to transfer $300,000.
So last year, the actual was less than what you had budgeted. So is that kind of typical? or not?
Yes.
Okay.
I think a lot, this fund is extremely hard because you're also counting on all students and staff to pay off their lunch balances at the end of the year.
Mhm.
And so depending upon if there are a bunch of accounts that are prepaid, it can also affect this as well. I mean, the transfer in doesn't have to be 300,000. It could be less. So we've done 250, 200. So you can only carry over so much money inside your enterprise fund. The state only allows you to cover 3 months of your average expenses is what they require. So I don't have a magic crystal ball that'll say that food prices are gonna go up by X, and I expect that every student is gonna have $20 at the end of the year in their lunch account.
So, I know that last year, I can remember there kind of being a push for anybody qualifying for free and reduced lunch. Is that still in play this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, so if, the more that we have qualify, it covers a lot more of our expenses.
Okay. Okay, all right, thanks.
Okay, continuing on to page 16 is our custodial fund. The district is responsible to account for depositing and distributing all money in a custodial capacity. We are anticipating the expenditures for fiscal year 25 to be $1,358,489. This is where the SLIB approved charter school pass-through funds will be expensed. So again, as I mentioned in our budget workshop, I don't want anybody to panic thinking that we're, as a district, are spending $1.3 million with all of our activity funds. A majority of those expenses is the pass-through.
Is the pass-through.
Yep. So, we tend to kind of stay right on average. We spend what we bring in for fundraise funds. And then the final page of your budget is page 17 is the budget appropriation and levy resolution. I don't know if I touched that. I don't think it fit on the slide, it's pretty.
It's on the computer if they have it, if you just click on your,
No, that was this whole document that you guys got.
yeah, this is on here.
Okay, are there any questions?
Good job.
Yeah,
Good job.
very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Hold up, I might have a question.
This is really good information for our voters too. I think we're gonna have onboarding.
I think it's pretty amazing when you think about our insurance increase and the raises we did, we're still
Putting money away.
balance we're receiving from our entitlement, so
Love it.
our guarantee.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good work, guys.
Thank you.
So,
Make a motion to.
Oh, she's got a question.
I mean, to the tune of 28 million, this is pretty silly, but.
Okay.
Amounts to be raised, OC's higher education half mil comes out to 96,505. And the BOCES plat 1 is 98,954. Is that just a guesstimate on here?
So the BOCES budget had to be turned into BOCES like at the beginning of June. So as our numbers come in through our county assessor, we start to update those numbers.
Okay.
So this will not be the final assessed district valuation either. That will change as the county gets numbers in as well.
That's what I figured, but
Yep, no,
I noticed
that's
it was
a- nope.
different, so.
That's a great question.
Do we need to ask for public comment before?
Any public comment, questions?
So yours.
Guys have a nap? I'm not raising my hand.
And
We need to spend money on bug killers. All right, thank you, Mrs. Wilson.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Item 2.
I'll entertain the motion to approve the recess of the budget hearing and reconvene regular board meeting.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving to the recess of budget hearing and reconvening the regular board meeting, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Time is 6:40. All right, moving on to item 3.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2025 resolution for budget adoption.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? I assume not. Okay, all right, all those in favor of approving fiscal year 2025 resolution for budget adoption, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Item 4.
Madam Chair, I would move to approve personnel hiring, resignations, and terminations.
Thank you,
I'll second that.
thank you. We'll have that copy in our packet. Any comments, questions? All those in favor of approving the personnel hiring, resignation, and terminations, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, no? Alright, item 5.
Madam Chair, I would move to approve the following policies on the first of 2 readings. AE strategic plan placement, GCBC professional staff fringe benefits, GCBD-R expense reimbursements, EFA health and wellness.
Thank you, Ms. Hoffman.
I'll second.
Dustin.
Alright, again, we have these in our packets that we have reviewed. Any questions, comments, concerns? Alright, all those in favor of approving the following policies on the first of 2 readings. AE strategic plan placement, GCBC professional staff fringe benefits, GCBD-R expense reimbursement, EFA health and wellness. Please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? No. Alright, item 6.
Madam Chairman, I'll move to approve the revision of policies JK employment of students and EEAA-R walkers and riders / school bus scheduling and routing on second and final reading.
I'll second that.
Alright, thank you. Any comments, questions?
I'm gonna take the next one.
Alright, all those in favor to approve the revision of policies JK, employment of students, and EEAA-R, walkers and riders, school bus scheduling and routing on second and final reading, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, no? Alright, item 7.
I'll make a motion to approve the adoption of policies KB, parent rights, KBR, parent rights complaint procedure, EBBA, prevention of disease / infectious transmission, EBBA-R, JLCC, communicable infectious diseases, JICFA, harassment, intimidation, and bullying, JEA, compulsory attendance age, GBEC, drug-free workplace, and GBEC-E-I, notice to employees of the drug-free workplace on second and final reading.
I'll second.
Alright, thank you. Any questions or comments? These are all policies the policy committee went through and second and final reading.
I have a question. Like when we post the agenda, and you might have already answered this, but I don't remember the answer. Can the public click on those links and read them? I thought so, but I couldn't remember if I'd asked that before or not.
Good question. Alright, so. All those in favor to approve the adoption of policy KB, parent rights, KBR, parent rights complaint procedure, EBBA, prevention of disease and infectious transmission, EBBA-R, JLCC, communicable and infectious diseases, JICFA, harassment, intimidation, and bullying, JEA, compulsory attendance age, JBEC, drug-free workplace, and JBEC E-1, notice of 2 employees of the drug-free workplace. On second and final reading, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Item 8.
Madam Chairman, I move to approve, for the approval of special education rental agreement with Stephen and Michelle McGuire.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? Comments?
I couldn't remember the amount is why I asked him for the paper. My thought on that was, I really like the idea of what we do there, but that may be something that could be of a savings if dependent on what happens with the old junior high.
Yeah.
We could potentially move that into maybe some rooms there, which would, I mean, I appreciate what they're doing there and I like the service that's being done, but if we could do it in our own
That
building.
list we've got.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, one of the reasons why they're there is to have privacy and isolation, I think.
And I think it's sort of like, if you look at a transition to being an adult, like
Yeah.
sometimes it's a house, sometimes you're learning how to do things around the house, day-to-day kind of things, activities, just a different environment, like they're gonna be, as they are removed from the school setting when they turn 21. So, but you could set up a classroom with similar things possibly.
That's when she had mentioned
I like
Last
the
week.
idea.
the idea, yeah, something like that. I don't know, just, I mean, obviously, we're not ready for any of that, but it was a thought.
Yeah, we're looking for uses.
Yeah, we are.
Something to put down.
And so if we approve this, it would be through how long?
Just this
It
year.
would be for 1 year.
Yeah, if
So
you
it's
click on
right,
the
and I don't know that
link, it's
we
right
need-
here.
Ready
It
for
would
that,
give
the
us a
repairs and
year
things that would
get
need
set up.
done. It was just a thought for the future.
I like
It would
it,
take that long to get it set for
Right.
stuff anyway.
possibly.
All right, any further discussion on this, on item 8? Okay, so all those in favor of approval of the special education rental agreement with Stephen and Michelle McGuire, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, no? All right, item 9.
Madam Chair, I would move for the approval of special education contract with C-V Ranch-Bosse's 5.
Madam Chair, I'll second.
Thank you.
Is this a new contract or is this just a renewal?
I believe this is a new contract.
That's what I'm reading it as, and I don't remember doing it before, but I'm just clarifying, I guess. So this is a new one, and then this is something that will be reimbursable.
It's,
Or no.
special education, yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
either turned into the 6B grant or we turned it as reimbursement through special ed.
okay, that's what I thought, then just making sure.
Further discussion?
316,000.
All right, all those in favor of the approval of special education contract with C-V Ranch-Bosse's 5, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no? Alright. Well, goodness gracious, look at that. So item C here says that our next work session will be on August 12th And our next board meeting will be on August 19th, both right here at 6 p.m. First day of school is August 21st. And with that, I would take the last motion of the evening.
Madam Chairman, I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.